Welcome everyone to the topic of gamification and simulation. Remember, this we are doing in terms of education only. Gamification to transfer the skills and knowledge. Simulation, basically, we want to attract not only the eyeballs but also the attention of the participants, of every students, of every people who are interested to pursue a curriculum or program per se. So gamification in education is nothing but a promising technique enabling learner to achieve fantastic result. Why? Because the learners are empowered to go through, navigate those knowledge conundrum on their own. The concepts existed before the term gamification became popular in the year 2010. This can include points, badges, leaderboards, challenges, and rewards. Most of the online curriculum would give you badges, will give you points, and they might be motivating you through going on your leaderboards as how faster can you go around it. The challenges and the rewards. Rewards are nothing but the incentives that might monetize. You might get monetized or probably get certain gifts and kinds. The goal of gamification in education is to motivate students, help them learn much effectively, and the learning itself becomes an enjoyable journey per se. Now, types of gamification. There is the structural gamification. The structural gamification is the use of games element to guide a learner through the content without changing the content itself. So it is the mazes that a learner goes through, crisscrosses, and in the process picks up the principal traits, characteristics of the topic thereby. So structural gamification is the use of game elements to guide a learner through content without changing the content itself. That is what we are looking into it. Content gamification is the process of adding game like elements to educate for educational content. It can improve the engagement. Probably, yes, the learning becomes a bit more effective. You might face a stumble forces. You might go into the wrong doors. Now, these are basically doors, as in these options that if you have, basically, let me tell you to you, if you are giving a MCQ, multiple choice question, and there are 4 questions that are available, this the second or the third question as you look into it. If you're counting from here, it can be the second option. If counting from here, it would be third option. This is the right answer, right? But if the participants chooses the other figure as the answer, so why this answer is wrong? If they can be elaborated, so it can goes around it. Why this answer becomes wrong? So it gives justification as the content gamification goes around it. The common element of educational games, as the case might be, and what are they? They are onboarding. Their game levels, the badges, the point based rewards, the leaderboards, the timers, the signpost, and the hints. This is very, very pertinent. The progress bars and it limits. If you know, people would know to which level have the content they have completed, what are the amount of the content that has been left, community interaction, story plot, mystery boxes or other surprising elements per se, and how do you go across with it. That is very important thereby. Tips to help in choosing the particular type of gamification: access the relevance of current content, look at your requirements of your audiences, determine the complexity of the tasks depending upon the program that one is pursuing it. So yes, assesses the relevance of the current content, look at your audience needs, and determine the complexity of the tasks. Allow me to elaborate the advantages, the pros of gamification, and also the cons, should I say disadvantages of education gamification. So, advantages: better level of engagement, no doubt about it. Gamification actually uh, takes the cognitive level of the participants and hooks onto it. Instant feedback, or should I say, instant gratification is there, getting students hooked onto the learning, modernizing schools, advancing corporate training, improving attention and memory, challenging skills and technology, letting students set their own pace, saving on time, saving on cost, saving on effort is what gamification is all about. You prepare the game and people can dip in, play that game time and again, revisit that concept, revisit the theories, revisit the principles on their own at their own sweet time. So you've prepared once and things will be taken care of. But what are the disadvantages? It can be overstimulation or it can be addictive. People will try to solve all problems, all understanding only through a game models, but that is not very reality, right? Game logistics, again, there's an hindrance. Expensive to devise gamification education app. The low attention span of the learners thereby, and that is what we are looking forward to it. Risk of gamification in learning, over gamifying as the case might be, forcing everyone into games people things can be taught on a lesser budget, lesser constraint, quickly, other than gamification, right? It can be direct, you are basically enhancing the cost and over focusing on the fun. Probably learning is not always fun. Learning might be a serious business altogether, neglecting assessment. Gamification learning techniques, relying on the psychological effect as the case might be, and that is what we should be adhering to it. Four elements of games. One is the goal, the objective. Next is the rules of a game. Every game would have a rule. Look at when you play football. Look when you play basketball. Look when you are participating in an athletic events. There are rules. There are goals. There are challenges. There are conflict, and you need to give a constant feedback about how you are faring in the game, as in feedback. So there is this four elements of the game that say completion of tasks. People usually tends to finish the assignment. When the task is uncompleted, the commitment to completion is absolutely very strong. A strong mechanism stimulating people to take action. In this way, to promote specific behavior, you can create a note for the user. Create reasonable challenges. Small and simple tasks are excellent for motivating people to perform them. Challenges always give a good experiences and knowledge who face it as on when on basis. Making people curious. Curiosity is a desire to gain knowledge. Curiosity is a desire to attain information. It can be a behavioral constraint that the characteristics or an emotion that goes around it. So ensuring that people are curious people will gain some sort of insight of what to do and what to avoid. Gamification strategies in education are point-based system, badges, challenges, and leaderboards. We've already elaborated upon it. It's how many points have you accrued? Up to a number of points, you might get a badge or something like that. If there's a badges, what are the challenges that you have played? Challenges are nothing but the levels in the games that goes around level 1, 6, 10, 11, 40, and so on. So, and in the leaderboard, if you can rank how many players have achieved to what kind of things, what kind of levels. Gamification learning examples. Let's say Brainable, Quiz Your English, Let's Start Coding, Dental Simulator, Cosmic Watch, Crazy Machine. These are just an example. The best practices, the content of the games in the simulation can be aligned with the standards and viable curriculum in schools. The logistics and usability of games should reflect classroom realities, the time constraint in the school, the feedback and the assessment embedded in the game should embody measurable learning outcomes. The content of the games, the simulation should be aligned with the standards and viable curriculum in schools. The teacher guides, accompanies the games, should be provided sufficient ideas, activities, and resources to enhance student learning by the way. So, the learning principles of a good game is the identity, is the interaction, the production, the risk-taking capacity, customization, agencies, challenges and consolidations, situated meaning, pleasantly frustrating, system thinking, smart tools, distributed knowledge, performance before compliance. That's what goes around it. Performance and compliance and competence. It is all that we are trying to achieve. Building a competitive workforce, building a competent individual. Games and simulation. A game is an activity for entertainment, while a simulation is just a representation of mimicking those activities or the process of a system. In gaming, simulation games are the type of the video games that actually try to copy the real life activities. Let's say all of us might have played basketball, the simulated basketball, or the football, the simulated football on your Android devices, on your Windows devices, on your Safari, on your iPads or iPhones. I do not know which of the devices you access the internet. They can be used for training analysis, they can be used for prediction, they can be used for entertainment. Simulation games often don't have the specific goals. Players can freely control a characters or an environment as the case might be. Gamification is the process of adding game elements to the non-game activities. Gaming desires includes levels, tags, badges, points, progress bar, storyline, and obviously the feedback. Levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4, tags, how many badges have you got it? Points, how many points have you accrued? The progress bar will say if this is the duration and you have only covered this much. So this is the progression that goes around and it can get extended. Remember, this is getting extended. The storyline and the feedback thereby. So the resources is the GameStar mechanic. We have Classcraft, GetBadNews.com, Fake It to Make It. This war is mine. Now, these are my resources. You just need to Google them out. You just need to go to the net and search, make a search engine, whichever search engine that you prefer around here, and it will give you the resources. Again, GameStar mechanic, Classcraft, GetBadNews.com, Fake It to Make It. This war is mine. With this, I come to an end of this session. Thank you for watching it all the way around.